Welcome back to the podcast, Redeemed. If you've been following along with us, we've been following along with the two prophets, Elijah and Elisha. And we are fixing to have the transfer of power is what we're fixing to have. Kind of a very unique and interesting way.
Elijah's about tapped out.
Yep. And there's but the way that God calls him home is what makes it interesting. There's not many people in the Bible that got to experience this.
Only one other one that I can think of, at least in the Old Testament.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Enoch was the one, I believe, that he walked and then just was no more. Mm-hmm. If I remember the story correctly, I have to go back and look at it.
Just went back.
This one's a little more dramatic, which
it is.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So, when the Lord, and I think it's interesting how the chapter starts out. It says, when the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind. So, right there already sets the stage for what's happening now. It's what that whirlwind looked like that is really cool. Mm-hmm. But before we get there, Elijah says to Elisha. Now remember, Elisha's the one that's taking over for Elijah.
Yes.
Names are kind of similar.
I know, why couldn't they pick a different name?
We couldn't have been a little further apart in the names.
All right. So Elisha is staying. Elijah is leaving.
Yes.
And as they're on this, it's kind of like his final journey. And
that's a good way to put it.
And he's going to make these different spots that it seems like the Lord wants him to stop along the way. And then when he reaches this final part, boom, it's over, it's done, and the theatrics begin.
Yeah.
Now, I find it interesting that in that particular time, that everywhere they go, at Bethel, a company of prophets come out to Elisha, not Elijah, Elisha. So like I said, you can get confused. And ask, do you know the Lord is going to take your master from you today? Yes, I know, Elisha replied. So be quiet.
Yeah, let's watch, guys. Stop trying to ruin it.
Then Elijah said, stay here, Elisha, which is interesting, too, that everywhere he goes, he says, stay here. Stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here.
Elisha just wanted to follow around and learn as much as he could, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and eventually, I do kind of sense that he's still being respectful, but he's getting tired of the same question. Okay? Sure. And same thing, while they're in Jericho, do you know that the Lord is fixed to take your master away? Yes, I do. Be quiet.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware.
Yes.
I got it.
And then Elijah once again says, stay here. The Lord has sent me to Jordan. Then he replied, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you. Like I said, that's kind of it's like, Elijah, you're not getting it.
Yep.
I'm not going.
Try all you want. Nope. Try to make this clear.
And I'm really kind of glad he did, because he gets to see something pretty phenomenal. So they continue on. All right. And they stop at the Jordan. Elijah takes his cloak, rolls it up, strikes the water. The water divides. So right there, that'd be worth staying with him.
Yeah.
Glad I kept following.
Glad I got to see that in person.
That was cool.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
They walk across.
Nice move, God.
Yep. They crossed on dry ground, which I think is an interesting note. Like I said, God never does anything halfway.
Every time. That always gets me too with the Israelites leaving Egypt too. It's like dry ground.
Yeah.
If you ever walked on a riverbed before or felt a riverbed, it's just, it's almost like it's been soaking wet the entire time.
Exactly. And a lot of times you just sink. It's
mud.
Yeah, it's bad. We used to go fishing down at a river called the Nema, and we would fish at low tide. And so there was a lot more.
Gotcha.
And it was down there towards the bay, so they had the tidal area. So it would come up a lot.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Because it was covered with water 90% of the time.
It was very sticky.
You would get stuck. There were many occasions where I sunk up to at least knee deep, and it was quite the challenge to get out. Now, I've never caught so many fish in my life as down there at that place, and that's why you keep going.
Fish weren't expecting it.
But not only that, it was...
I thought we're safe here.
Stinky mud. Whew. Because it never dried out.
Never got a chance.
Never got a chance. I do think... So, sorry, I digress there. But I do understand this, and that's what amazes me about the concept of the dry ground. Mm-hmm. And then, once they cross, Elisha asked him, tell me, what can I do for you before I am taken from you? This one's almost as good as asking for wisdom.
This is good. I like this.
Okay? He says, let me inherit a double portion of your spirit. Oof.
See what you got? Give me 2.
Exactly. Now, you have asked a difficult thing, Elijah said. Yet if you see me when I am taking from you, it will be yours. Otherwise, it will not. Once again, if he hadn't followed Elijah,
he would have gotten it.
So at some point, you begin to think maybe this is God is testing Elisha to see if he's going to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, stay here. No, stay here. Yeah. Okay, guess what? What can I do for you?
I'm not leaving.
Okay.
Stop trying to tell me to stay places.
Okay, but now you've got to finish it. You got to go all the way. Mm-hmm. All right, so they do. And as they are walking along and talking together, I think this is true. They're walking and talking.
They're just having a conversation.
Yeah. Suddenly, a chariot of fire and horses of fire appear, separate the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elisha saw this and cried out, my father, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. And Elisha saw him no more. Then he took hold of his garment, and he tore it in two. Elisha then picked up Elijah's cloak that had fallen from him, and went back, stood on the bank of the Jordan. He took the cloak that had fallen from Elijah, struck the water with it, just like he saw Elijah do.
This
and
worked.
Walked right across. And away he went. Now, I think there's a lesson here. Okay? And sometimes we do have to stick to things. Mm-hmm. And not always take the easy way out. I mean, very easily Elisha could have said, okay, fine. You want me to stay here? I'll stay here.
I'll stay here.
But he doesn't. And he's persistent. And he keeps going. And as a result, I believe that he was able to have this double portion of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Because he stuck with him.
He's about to do some really cool things.
He does. And it's amazing what God does with him.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I think part of it was to test
right.
Elisha. Now, I don't read that. That's not a thus saith the Lord. But
yeah.
It does seem like it's pointing that direction.
It seems to be God wanted to be sure that Elisha was all in.
Yep.
And he showed he was.
Now, I do think it's interesting the way it ends is he goes back down and I don't know where they were. I always assumed it was a mountain. But I actually don't see that here.
It doesn't really say. It just says they were walking.
Yeah. And then he goes back, and then there's 50 able men there, and they say, let us go look. Okay. So we can find him. Yeah. Elisha says, no, don't go. No, don't go. Fine. Go. And they go and they search 3 days, and what do they find? Nothing.
Let me tell you what you guys are going to find. Whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing. You guys think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Chariots, fire, Elijah, heaven.
In a whirlwind.
Yeah.
It's over and done.
Y'all ain't finding him.
Yeah.
But sure, go waste your time.
So, like I said, it's just a cool, dramatic ending for the prophet of Elijah. Yeah. Like I said, he's one of the few people that actually did not die before going to heaven. Like I said, I believe the only other one was Enoch, and he's in Genesis, and he was just walking with the Lord, and all of a sudden he was no more. So
that's a goal right there.
That's a pretty cool way to go out.
Pretty cool.
That's a goal right there.
Yeah. I don't know. The chariots of fire would have been pretty cool.
That is really cool too.
Well, yeah.
But to be walking with the Lord, and then just
and all of a sudden it's
you're
like,
just gone.
God
You're there.
God just looks at you and say, "Hey, we're going."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yep. So, like I said, just a very interesting and challenging from the aspect of sometimes we just have to stick with it, even when it feels like we're being told to stop, but we know we need to keep going because the Lord's got something better for us.
Yes.
And the Lord will do that. There's a lot of times where He'll say, "Okay, you can quit," but at the same time, if you stick with it, there's a better reward.
I was going to say you may be missing out on something
Yep.
pretty big that He's
Yep.
got for you.
Absolutely. I have listened to my dad talk about. He has talked about many times thinking that if he had stayed at Bulverde, once he got through that hard spot, he felt very sure the Lord said yes, he could leave. But he was also pretty sure that if he had stayed,
there was something else waiting.
Yeah. Because it was shortly after that, guess what? The church exploded and it grew phenomenally.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's worth staying.
That's why it's good to be in tune with the Lord.
But like I said, he was totally convinced, and he'll tell you today that that the Lord said, "Yeah, you can go." Mm-hmm. He had accomplished what he was supposed to do. That doesn't mean there might not have been a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the Lord will do that. He will. All right. You guys have a great time. We'll see you next time.